Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Thank you so much. Good morning. I hope your morning is already going well. Good morning. How is everybody doing today? Good morning. Good morning. Today's topic is very interested and very, very true. And the topic that I am sharing with you all today is wear your own and not someone else. Good morning, which is very important, and I am going to tell you what it is and how it got ministered to me and how I've been applying it to me. Because as we all know, first it has to be within our own, first it has to be at home in order for us to use it, to transmit it. So my topic for today is this: wear your own attire and not someone else's attire. Okay, and that is very important, and that is very important, and which a lot of us sometimes will struggle with it. Okay, and I also have from the Bible that I would like to share you guys, so where it talks about it too. And okay, and what it means, what am I talking about when I say wear your own attire and not someone else? Well, I am talking about not comparing yourself to others. Okay, and it's in my notes, we need to stop comparing ourselves to others, because God has given us our own attire to wear, which means that we cannot be worrying, okay, and we cannot try to be somebody else or look at somebody else. Okay, and I'm going to put as example me, and I'm always going to use me, okay, because God has all the things that he has done. You know, there was a one time in my life when in my younger age, okay, that I didn't know. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know how I was directed. Therefore, I was always to imitate somebody else. I was always trying. I was always looking at the other person or other people's. It was more than one. And I would try to imitate them. And sometimes I would get upset. Why upset? Because I was not in their level. Or by their age, they already had achieved stuff. And I still didn't. And this took me years. Even it took me into my adult age that I would still compare myself. And I will always struggle, because I will always be looking at what other person, basically I was looking at the other person attire, and I was not happy with my own attire. Now, you know, and it is important, because when we wear our own attire, we can see what God has done and is still doing through us. But when we don't do it, we don't see. Why we're not able to see what is being done through us? Why? Because we are so busy. We are so distracted with looking what somebody else or what others are doing or what others have instead of our own. I used to say to my son, wow, you know, I'm this age and I still haven't done, I still don't have this. I remember one particular time that I told my son, you know, I am this age and I still don't have my own house. I still haven't finished school. I still struggling with this. And my list was long of negative. And then, not only that, then I start telling him, but I know this person who is younger than me, and I already have this, and they already done this, and they already doing this. Plus, I saw so-and-so, and wow, you see this? And the other person, they might, you know, yeah, I think they're a little bit older than me, but look at how much they have. So, he will tell me, and he told me that stop right there. Stop. Because you and them are a completely different person. You and that person have completely different agendas. You and that person is starting a totally different routine. You have to stop. And he said, wow. And he looked very disappointed in a way, because he was like, wow, I can't believe you are still comparing yourself to others. You have to stop. And then he told me, he said, you should be very proud of where you are now. And I looked at him and I said, wow. I said, no, I should be. And he said, no. He said, it is nothing wrong to want to grow more, but the way you doing it is because you are comparing yourself. And this is not a comparing. This is not, he told me, look where you come from. He said, look at where as your childhood. Look at where you come from. Look at all the things that you have done. And he started naming things. And he said, look at all this and look that. And I was like, ay. And so he started telling me. And I was like, yeah, it is true. And I will stay quiet. A lot of times I will tell my son, you better be thankful that it's God who's speaking to me right now. Because you will be in trouble, my son. And he will tell me, He said, the truth hurts, huh? And I'll be like, oh my goodness. And it was true. And it took me for God to minister into my heart. And you know what was the funny thing last night where I was listening, because I have shared to you guys, I listen and I watch two other what I will call it, other preachers, other speakers, motivators, to always keep feeding myself, to always keep myself on tune, and to refresh myself and to learn. And you know what? One of those videos, this lady that I oh my goodness, I listened to her and I'm like, yes, it is true. And she started speaking about that, to start comparing. I was like, oh Lord Jesus, yes, she's talking about me, Lily. And you know what? It was not Lily, it was Liliana. You better pay attention. And I was like, oh. So I start taking notes and I say, yes, that is true. That is true. And then I was remembering, I said, wow, without me realizing, my son, God was preparing me. God was preparing me. But until we don't realize it, until we don't accept it, it's not going to hit us. It's not going, And sometimes you don't want to wear your own attire because you don't like it. You don't like it how your own attire looks. You be like, I like more how their attire looks. I don't want to be wearing my own. Their attire looks more fancy. Their attire looks more beyond. And we are ashamed. We are ashamed. And also when we start, listening and watching, and believe me, there will be people that they won't know. And then that's when negativity, it will start hitting you. And because you already don't wear your own attire, all that is not going to help you, because all that is going to be fighting against you, because you've been comparing yourself. You being saying, oh, so then all the negativity, so then your self-esteem, it will definitely even be lower. So then you will not be fighting for yourself. You will be fighting basically somebody else's attire. And it shouldn't not be like that. God has given our own attire. God has given us our own what to wear and everything, okay? He already has given it to us. He already has capacitated us. We don't have to be worrying. We don't have to be saying, oh, I want to wear somebody else attire. Oh, but this person is doing this. Why I haven't done it? Oh, this person, no. And a lot of times I've noticed it too, that in the media, the social media will have, and it has a big impact actually. And that when I'm talking about attire, I'm talking in all aspects. Sometimes that it can harm us within our professional, with our personal life, within our achievements, with everything, with the purpose that God has for us. Why? Because we are so busy looking and focused and trying to get what is somebody else. You know, it's kind of like, how can I say? It's, for example, these glasses, they are shaped, for example, for the shape of my face, okay? Their glasses are specifically made for my face, and the prescription that it has is specifically for the prescription that I need for my eyes in order for me to see. But I don't want to wear those glasses. I like the ones that she has. So what am I going to do? I'm going to remove my glasses and I'm going to put somebody else's glasses. Somebody else's glasses. Now what happens when I put somebody else's glasses? They might not fit. They might be a little bit tighter. I probably will not be able to see. Either the words are going to be so big and blurry, and not only that, then I will start having a lot of headache. Why? Because I am forcing my vision to have something and to wear something that is not for my eyes. And that's how it is within our life. We don't accept what God has capacitated us. We don't want to take we don't want to wear the attire. And sometimes it might be because of shame, and sometimes it might be because you're not proud of or your self-esteem, or because what others are being saying to you. But you cannot be worrying about it. Excuse me. Don't worry about it. Because when you accept it, when I accept that these are the glasses that are meant to be for me, and that they are help me to see far and to see close, that's when I'm going to start seeing things clear. And that's when the glory of God, and through His grace, He's going to show, okay, what He's been doing and what He's still doing through us. But until we recognize it, okay? And then on the first one that I want to give to you guys, that is on the Bible, and let me type it here so you guys can have it, okay? And the first one that I want is, give me just a minute, I am typing what I want you guys to be able to have, and search it, and you can read it and go based on it, and pray about it, and let God speak to you, okay? And let Him speak to you, and let Him minister into your heart, because that is very important. And that's the first one that I'm going to share, okay? And Galatians 6, and I start reading it from 3 to 4 to 5. And it says there, it says, if anyone thinks he is something when he's nothing, he deceives himself. So that's what I was saying. When we thinking we are somebody else that we were not supposed to, or we trying to imitate, kind of like a copy. And God made us all unique. And then at number 4, it says, each one should test his own actions. Then he can take pride in himself without comparing himself to somebody else. For each one should carry his own load. Well, basically, that's what I was saying. We should all wear our own attire, because that's what God has created us, and that's what God has defined us to be. That's how we are. That's we cannot be somebody else, because it won't work. It won't work. Believe me. Sooner or later, you will start. You will start noticing. You will start getting uncomfortable. You will start getting agitated, because then you'll be like, why it's not working? I've been wearing it for so long, and why is still not working? Because it was not meant to be for you. Okay? And then on Romans 12:3, it reads, For by the grace given me, I said to every one of you, do not think of yourself more highly than you ought, but rather think of yourself with sober judgment, in accordance with the measurement of God faith has given you. So, okay, it is very important that you do that. And another thing, when you wear your attire, don't think that you are more highly than somebody else. Don't compare yourself, or don't say, oh, basically, like, for example, oh, well, I have gone through all this. Look what I have achieved. Look all this. And no, don't do that, because remember, it's throughout the grace of God that we, and when we humble ourselves, and God will take care of it. God will show, and God is the one who will allow for basically our stuff to shine, but not us. We cannot be showing things that pride, basically, like pride. Oh, look what I have, because that's still comparing. And this is not about comparing. Nothing it is by comparing, okay? And then in my notes, do not wear your own attire. Do not wear your attire with more highly than you are, but rather wear it with the measurement of God faith, with the faith that God has assigned you. That's basically what I was reading to you guys. Until we start wearing our own attire, things will start getting into place. Be the one that God created you to be, not what others are. So basically, be the person. Be that one person that God destined you to be. Be that one that God says, I want you to be this, and I want you, this is the attire for you. This is what I have for you, and this is what I would like, this. Don't worry about the rest. Don't worry. And don't think because, oh, well, I have gained weight. Now it's my... No, don't worry about it, because He made it for you. So He will make sure that will always, it will always be exactly on your size. So you don't have to be worrying, oh, well, now I have to wear somebody else because this one doesn't fit me anymore. No. What is yours, what the attire that is assigned for you is going to be yours. And believe me, when we start doing that, you can see things differently. You can say, oh, wow, that is true. Look what he has done. And then not only that, then you can be able to even grow more. Because remember, everything is in time. What if it's somebody, for example, if it's somebody was eligible to buy a house at the age of 30, doesn't mean that everybody's supposed to do that. Maybe God, in your plans, God probably will give it to you either when you were 25 or when you were 35. But don't compare it. And not because so and so has already 2 houses, 3 cars, and that. And plus, remember one important thing: you don't know. You don't know what is their attire is. You don't know how heavy their attire is. Do you really want to be wearing somebody else's attire? No. Because God wants you to be you. You. Be you. Wear your attire. Wear it. And wear it with the faith, the measurement of faith that God has given you. Remember, I always have said that God has capacitated us. And it's the same thing. God has given us our attire. It is a specific attire that it is for us. And only individually. So stop looking at what somebody else have. Start ambitioning. Stop comparing. Don't compare it. You want God to use you. God will use you once you start wearing your own attire. How it is. Exactly how it is. Exactly how it is. That's how he wanted, because then he will start doing how you are going to see what God has done. What God has brought you from. If you still keep looking at somebody else's attire. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And believe me, God has ministered to me. And and even last night when I was listening. So I was like, okay, God, I am going to share it. And I say, yes, that is true. And believe me, the entire time I was listening, I was like, yep, yes, she's talking to me. Yes. I was like, yes, Lord. Yes. And especially when I hear my complete name. Oh, my Lord. That's when it's even more serious. And I'm like, yes, yes, yes. And that's the only thing. We have to be humble enough to admit it. And that is taking responsibility. That is taking responsibility. And believe me, even sometimes the people that you less expected will tell you things that God will use them. And the only thing I can say, yes, it is true. I cannot be over here and be like, oh, and who you are to tell. No, we have to be humble and say that's true. When we know, because remember, God, you and God knows what is going on. You and him knows what is going on behind doors. He knows how your heart is. So if you pretend to be something, no, and like Ilian will say, the truth hurts, huh? And when he will say that, I needed to humble myself. I could not keep being stubborn, and because then we never, okay? And wear your attire with proudness, because believe me, that's the attire that he picked for you. And when he was creating you and he was doing everything, he was like, yes, this is perfectly for her. Yes, that's going to be, even with everything, even with all the bumps and hurts and everything, then you were like, but why did I went through it? I want to wear her attire because she didn't went through what I went. I want to wear her attire because she was not living in the streets. She did not got raped. She did not have this. I want to wear her attire. She is not fat. She has a very beautiful body. So I want to wear her attire. She has beautiful glasses. I want hers or his. Her life or his life looks all shiny and beautiful. But in reality, we don't know. If that's the attire that God given to you, he knows why. And we have to wear it with proudness and with that pride and say, okay, Lord, I wear it. It fits. Okay, here it goes. And believe me, then you will start seeing what he has done, what he has brought you from, and what he's still doing through you, and yet what he's still going through to do beyond. And then believe me, you will be all like, oh yes, yes, that is true. Yes, God made us unique. And I cannot be wearing somebody else, okay? And believe me, that does hurts. That does. It does. Okay? And wear your own attire. Be happy. Okay? If we have a circle face, a square face, a long face, curly hair, short, straight hair, purple, black, wear it. That is your attire. Whatever colors you are thick or you are skinny, wear it. Wear it. That is your attire. That is, okay? If you have things that you have been through, and wear it. Wear it, because believe me, it's a preparation. It's a preparation that God is preparing you, okay? It's like assembling. He's preparing you, and He's putting all the pieces together. And we don't understand. And a lot of things they're not right. There are a lot of times that we're like, but that's not right, God. But that's not fair. But in that attire that He assigned, that He has given it, that it fits you, it's because of the purpose that He has for you. The attire that it belongs. Let's say, for example, somebody else wants to wear my attire. And once they put it on, it'll be like, oh, this is heavy. And then you might be like, how does Lily is wearing this? Oh, this is tired. Oh. But since you want to wear my attire, you are going to struggle. You are going to be like, this is heavy. This is big. There's glasses that I don't know how can she see with those glasses. But you know what? I'm wearing it. That thing that she has, I'm wearing it. And you start struggling. But because you wanted it to wear my attireness, you don't want to recognize it. And then it will start hurting you. It will start affecting you. So you cannot wear my attire. Because that is only meant to be my attire. I cannot wear your attire. Because it was meant to be for you. And I cannot wear his attire or anybody, or especially not more than one. So remember, read. I encourage you to read. I encourage you to do your own, always do your own research. I share with you guys the two chapters that I relied on, that I read, and I share based on my own experience and how God has ministered and is still ministering and to me, and He's still doing. And now, ask God to show you, and ask Him, God, am I wearing my own attire? And let me and put that. Ask those questions. Ask the question. Ask the question. Give me just a minute. Ask God, am I wearing my own attire? And that is, are you wearing your own attire? The one that God has given and designed for you. Ask that question. Ask with all your heart. And believe me, he will show you. He will show you. If you ask it with your own heart, and if you're not wearing it, tell Him, God, how can I wear my own? Or show me. And believe me, He will show you. He is very good. When you ask Him, Just be ready. I always say that. And I will always be honest. When you ask your father for something, be ready. Okay? Be ready. Sometimes it might be a really hard whooping, but be ready. Be ready. Like what Elian used to say, the truth hurts, huh? He will tell me that. So just be ready that when you ask him and he answers back, you're ready. And wear your own. You might not like it. You might not like it. And believe me, you might not like it, but it is who we are. And it is what is preparing us for the purpose that we have. And this is all what I have for you guys. I really hope it ministers to you. I really hope and I pray that it will help you and that it will encourage you. It will encourage you to ask that question. Am I wearing my own attire? Am I the one that you create me to be? Simple like that. Okay? And don't look about the other person. Don't compare yourself no more. Don't compare yourself. Because it's not a competition. This is not a competition. Because remember, the day when we are in the presence of God is going to be one-on-one. God and then you. And if you were comparing yourself your entire life and you were wearing somebody else's attire your entire life, what you going to say? When you are on one-on-one in the presence of our Father, no other attire can help you. No matter how big and how small the attire is, it will not help you. So, in the presence of our Elohim, at the end of the day, it's just one-on-one. Just you and him. So, it is better if we start wearing our own attire now than later on regret it. And this is all that I have for you guys. I hope you keep enjoying the rest of your morning and of your day. Remember, I encourage you to keep doing your best. Try your best. Keep yourself motivated. Keep yourself encouraged. And don't worry too much about what is going on out there. Worry about what is going on with you. And wear your own attire. Okay, have a wonderful day. Remember, you are beautiful, you are wonderful. God made you uniquely with your own attire. You are great and you have a big purpose. Okay, I will see you all. God bless you. God loves you so much, and I will see you all soon.